When I think about sisterhood, I think about care, celebration, and community. A sister will have non judgmental, reliable, and authentic support for whatever situation you may find yourself in terms of care. She's someone who will do their very best to show up for you and who you always want to show up for. We are going to have each other's backs. It's a relationship where you're listening to each other and you're able to get guidance and understanding and perspectives on important topics. And they are somebody you can sometimes have difficult conversations with from a place of care and love. Sisters celebrate each other. They cheer each other on. They bring joy and laughter. They are always one of the first people with whom you want to share like good news. You enjoy celebrating each other's wins. And when things get tough, you help each other realize and recognize and remember the accomplishments that uplift you and motivate you to keep going. When I think about sisterhood more broadly, I think about community. I chose the word consistency as my word for 2025 to support my creative writing practice. But by February, I'd added the word community because of how my sisters and sister circles were showing up for me and having a deep impact on my life. In community, you find that you are not alone, that there is a collective care, support, and celebration for members of the community around all stages of your life. And there's significant strength in that type of community, which encourages confidence. Sisters are going to keep you confident.
Yeah, I think that sisterhood is rooted in a kind of calm. Like, that's what I think about when I think about sisterhood, just being able to be present with people who see me, hear me, understand me, and that bring a kind of calm to my life. I think that the world can be really chaotic at times, and it can feel like, particularly as a Black woman, that you're kind of constantly battling just for people to recognize whether it's your humanity, whether it's to hear your voice, literally hear your voice, or hear your voice politically or socially. And so I think that sisterhood for me is really kind of, again, rooted in that sense of like, we are connected, you understand me, you hear me, which is not to say that there isn't like variation, right? Because we know that Black women aren't monolithic. We know that sisterhoods amongst Black women doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is coming with the same politic. But I think that there's a sense of like ease. And I think that the Black women that I've been blessed to share space with have brought so much ease to my life. And they've also really challenged me to think deeply about myself, about my politics, about the way that I navigate the world. And so it's not to say that like all moments are easy, but it's to say that the kind of love that I feel like is shared brings such ease to my life, and it gives me an opportunity to reflect on just again who I am, what I think about, how I show up in the world. I think all of those things are present in the sisterhoods that I've been a part of, and I feel really grateful to Black women for being in my life. Period. So yeah.
Sisterhood, to me, it means community over competition. When women work together toward a goal or an overall mission, as opposed to women competing against each other trying to attain their goals.
I feel like there are innumerable examples of this, but I was in graduate school and going for my PhD, and anybody who's been in grad school, PhD or not, knows that it can be a really challenging time academically, psychologically, emotionally. There's just so much, I think, as a Black person that you go through in graduate school, because irrespective of what you're studying, again, there's such a heightened level of analysis. Like whatever your niche is, you kind of realize wow, there's a way that a system works. And for many of us, we start to see like systematic racism in our respective field. And I'm talking about this in reference to like sisterhood because there were so many Black women, and I have many sisters. I have many sisters that are from different racial groups that definitely support and see me. But I think that Black women's mark on my life is just, it's just different. And again, as it relates to graduate school, I'm kind of going through this whole thing of like the world crashing down in some sense, right? I had studied sociology as an undergrad, but graduate school again is just different. And so I remember kind of falling into depression, to be honest. And there were so many Black women around me that were like, sis, I got you. What you need? Like, you need me to come over? Do you need some food? You know, needing to sit with you? I, also experienced some sexual violence while in graduate school as well. And there were Black women that, again, held space for that, that sat with me. Even when, in full transparency, when I wasn't well, there were Black women that were like, listen, I know you're not well. I know this is not the person that I know. And so I'm trying to make space for whatever you're going through. I love you and I want to show up for you. So how do I do that? I just think that the kind of relationship that Black women, the kind of space that they've held for me is just undeniable. It's so spiritual. Like, it's not even something that fully can be captured just by like language. It's something that's really like felt like in my body, in my spirit, like in my consciousness. It's like when I'm in community with Black women, I feel different. Like my nervous system is different. Like how I speak is different. Like again, that kind of calm my talk, like my shoulders drop, like all of those things. And so again, I feel very grateful for the Black women that have shown up for me throughout my life.
When I formed the group Zora's Den, which is a group for Black women writers, supportive and socially engaging, it was transformative in that it demonstrated community over competition, because writing is such a solitary practice. And it was good to know that there were other women looking for the same things, even though they were writing alone. There was strength in creating a community of other women writers, and it highlighted the things that we do the same, even though we're apart. So we're there to support each other, even though virtually in lots of cases, support each other through acceptances, rejections, residencies, problems with our writing when we're stuck. And it's just an overall supportive community. And in forming it and realizing that the need was there, it definitely transformed my life as a writer and as an organizer.
My moment of sisterhood transformation is more than a moment. It has really been happening over the last 18 months. Last January, I joined a global BIPOC women's writers collective called The Sanctuary. There are about 100 sister scribes, as we call ourselves, in this group that was founded by writer, author, literary lifestyle evangelist Lori Tharps. The level of support, care, and community around writing has transformed my creative writing practice and really how I live my life. It has been about 20 years since I published my first novel, and now I've made significant progress on my next novel because of this robust writing community. I'm doing something every day to support my writing life because of these sisters. I've read more books in the past 18 months than I've probably read in the past 5 to 10 years. I've written more than ever in that same amount of time. I've attended more book signings, author talks, workshops, symposiums, anything you can imagine that has to do with creative writing. Just being in community with these sister writers has helped me to experience more joy and success around my chosen creative writing practice, which has supercharged my confidence. And I get to do that for them as well. And that feels awesome.
In times of crisis and chaos, the ways that women can really reinforce and reaffirm sisterhood is through supporting each other, in having to be generous enough to even remove self if necessary, in order to be there for your sister and to let your sisters and let them know that they're not there alone. And sometimes encouraging them. As a writer, my go-to is to write through it, to address it through your writing, through like the hard times that need to be written about. Sometimes it's not something you want to talk about, but you can talk about it on the page, even if you're the only person who's ever going to see it. And in times like that, in my writing community, that's one of the main things we can do through support, is to encourage each other to express ourselves.
During these wild times, it is important for sisters to be listening to each other, to be available to each other, and be understanding and give authentic guidance, perspectives, and support around problem solving. It's important for us to provide hope to each other, community, care, and celebration. And it's important for us to be able to accept it from sisters who are trying to give those things, those helpful things to us. In these moments, I find it is important to be around sisters who allow each other to be their full and authentic selves. And it's important for us to recognize each other's humanity. Sisters also remind each other during tough times that rest is imperative and that we are enough.
I think this is a great question. I think it goes in tandem with what I just said around like mental health. So again, I went through a really tumultuous time in graduate school where my mental health just I was not well. And I think that one, it was really hard for me to like seek help and to just coming to an understanding of like, what did my diagnosis mean for me as a person? But also what did it mean in relationship to my friends, to my family, to the kind of person I thought I was. And so I think that in that moment, what was so beautiful, and again, what I just hold so close to my heart, is that there were so many different Black women from different parts of my life. It's, I love you, I see you, I'm here. How can I hold space for the different iterations of you, even an iteration of you that I don't like? And I think that was really transformative for me in how I love and how I show up now, where I'm like, every Black woman is not the same. Every Black woman is not coming with the same politic, the same mental health, spiritual health, work that they've done on themselves. My own walk has humbled me so much because it's made me realize like I needed sisterhood when I wasn't well. I needed people that were like, hey, I love you and you need to get some help. I love you and, right? It's like, it's not, I don't love you no more until you do this. It's like, I love you and there's some things you need to do to be well for you. And I think that that's just really important. And I think not only as Black women do this work, but I think particularly during this time where there's so many attacks on Black folk, Black identity, Black history, there's this kind of necessity to remind each other like, hey, I love you. And here are some ways you may need to take care of yourself that you may not have considered before. And I think that being able to discern like what people are coming in love and what people aren't. And then again, being able to protect yourself by saying, I'm not willing to engage with X type of folk. Unless again, that's a journey that I want to go on. But again, that I get to choose if I'm going on that journey. And I think that it's really important for Black women to choose, right? To know that we have a choice, whatever rooms that we enter, whatever rooms we choose to exit, that we are really powerful and that our energy is sacred. Our language is sacred. Our voices are sacred. Our hair is sacred. How we adorn ourselves is sacred. When we meet and we laugh and we're present, and I'm a part of Zora's Den, and so we share poetry. Also, I'm part of like working, like writing groups for other Black women. But the whole thing I'm bringing up is just that whenever I'm in space with Black women, I am so inspired and so lifted. And again, my heart is full, but my spirit is just like, it feels like sunshine. And so again, I just think that it's super, super important in this time to protect that and to not take it for granted. And I definitely don't take it for granted.